Hi everyone, welcome back to Holistic Hacks. I was gonna say today's one's gonna be short and sweet. It should be, it really should be. But I got ADHD, so let's see. Okay, so today we're gonna be talking about neuropathways. This kind of picks up from what we discussed last week. So anybody that missed last week's one, please go and have a look. Link for the Holistic Hacks YouTube is in the description section. And what we're really going to be focusing on is from a psychology perspective. I am not a neuroscientist, so I'm not even going to try all that stuff. Yeah, we're just going to focus on it from a psychology perspective and what that actually means for somebody trying to make changes for themselves, right? So when we look at neuropathways, right? So when you're born, you know, let's just say these are your neurons, right? I know, I'm such a great artist, yeah. So these are your neurons, right? And so what's happening then is that as you're being born, let's say for example, you start crying, right? And your mom comes and brings you food and they're like, oh, you're hungry. You start to identify that, oh, this hunger pains means that I'm hungry. And if I eat something, then that will resolve that hunger pain. And so every experience you have in life, it builds up like that. And then the neural pathways essentially start to form, right? And again, like I keep mentioning, this happens throughout your life. New pathways just keep getting formed. It's beautiful, right? And so one of the things that you do have to remember though is that when you're trying to make changes in your life, right, you got to think of it exactly in the same model. Yeah, it's like this. It's like this. You're trying to make these changes, but your brain has not yet processed that you're trying to make these changes. And eventually it's like, oh, ooh. Like, you see? And finally, you're finally starting to make these connections and make these changes. And ideally, the more you do it, the more your brain is like, this is the way to go. Yep, that's it. That's it. So next time, if you're accustomed to, let's say, I'm stressed out, I'm going to go have a cigarette, your brain will be like, nah, actually, gym works better. And you're going to go for the gym and start making that your regular pathway, if that makes any sense. Yeah. But the main thing you really need to identify with this as well is that notice how the old ones don't die. And this is what we mean by old habits die hard. Yeah. It is so easy to revert back to, let's call it your default pathway. Yeah, let's call it that, right? And this is the reason why it is so important to be mindful of being consistent with your changes, because the more consistent you are, the more you solidify these pathways and ideally create those as your default pathway. And yeah, for once, that's it.